guys, hope you are alive. Alright, this is going to be hopefully a very quick demo of Quant Voting V2. In Quant Voting V2, you have 4 different roles. The first role is the creator of the election. It's basically the guy who decides the parameter of the election and wants to poll the community of Zcash holders. The second role is the host, who's gonna run the election. So this guy not necessarily is able to vote. If he doesn't have coins, he will not vote, and he cannot decrypt the votes, so he doesn't have any visibility on what's going on with the election until it's completed. Number 3 is the electors, so the participants. Any person who has altered nodes in the election window can participate in the vote. This is the largest group. Number 4 is finally the auditors. Auditors at the end of the election will get the password from the creator, and they will be able to decode all the ballots, verify the election was fair, and publish the results. So we have 4 roles, but in practice, you would probably have some of the roles merged. So for example, you can have the creator and the auditor be the same person, or at least the creator be one of the auditors, because he probably wants to know the result as well. Okay, so let's get started with the first role, the creator. So each person has a different app. So we have 4 apps here. So the first app is Zcash Vote Create, and so it's on the GitHub. You can go here and download the package under Zcash Vote Create. This guy here. You go here. There's a release. There are different platforms. It's only desktop, but you have Linux, macOS, and Windows. Okay. I can also run it directly from my machine. Target, release, bundle, and then we have DMG, macOS, macOS, create election, Zcash Vote app. I think this is how you can find it. Alright. So you choose the name of the vote. This has to be fairly unique and correspond to the ID of your election. So for the test here, I'm just gonna say best ice cream, and now you have to decide the window where the votes are, the nodes are eligible. This is basically a segment of the blockchain that we consider for this vote. Anything that happens before and after doesn't matter, doesn't count. So if you have acquired nodes before that window or after the window, they are not eligible. And what you need to have is votes, funds, altered funds acquired inside that range, start of voting, and unspent by that height here. Alright, so what I'm going to put here is so I got a wallet. I got a test wallet with some funds. I have the seed key. The seed phrase is this one, and I move the coins out after this particular height. So I want to have that height as the start of voting, so that these coins will be detected, but actually they are not available anymore. So if you go and look at the funds here, you won't find anything. And registration starts. I want something that is not too big, so I'm gonna put 1000 blocks. And the question is, what is your favorite ice cream? Okay, so the answer, you need to put one banana. chocolate, mango, pistachio, okay, that should be enough. The signature required here means that the participants, the voters, have to have the seed phrase. Otherwise, if you say signature is not required, they just need to have the full viewing key. This allows people who have funds in cold storage to participate in the vote. Even if you have signature required, you can participate in the vote as long as the notes are in a hot wallet during that range. So you can move them in a hot wallet, and then at the time of the election, the vote, you move them back into cold storage. Then you vote after they are in cold storage. But a less secure way is to make the election without the signature. Okay. You still gonna have other the zero knowledge proof and etc. But just not the signature for on the spend. Okay, then I create the election file. Right at the end, I get these. This is the seed phrase for the election. I need to save that because this is going to be required for getting the results of the election. So it's going to be needed by the auditors. And then I save the file. Okay, I save the file to documents, for example. Okay, that's it for the first row. The second row, the host, is basically a guy who is going to take this file, put it online, run the server that gathers the ballots and verifies that they are good. This role has no access to the seed phrase of the election, so it doesn't know who people voted for. So it's just it's purely organizational. It's a process. It's a workflow. It's basically is equivalent to the booth, to the polling stations. Right. So this is in Zcash vote server. I'm deleting the previous database and the previous JSON file. Now I'm copying the new JSON file into data, and I'm starting a server. Target release vote server vote Zcash vote server. Right, it's supposed to be running somewhere else. Right. Okay, so we have one election, and we're waiting for on this endpoint. This endpoint means localhost 8000. In production, you want to have this guy exposed to the outside and probably not HTTP. So you should secure this with a certificate, or use a reverse proxy to also protect that to make it more secure than just a regular HTTP. But for now, I'm just going to use localhost 8000. If it's localhost 8000, the URL of my election is localhost 8000 election, and then the name of the election, which is best ice cream. So that's row number 2, and now we're moving to row number 3, which is the most important row, the voters, the electors. So Zcash vote app is where it's at. So we run source story. This guy is also published as a binary here. Zcash vote app, and then you can find a release with the binary for Linux, Windows, and macOS. Source story target release bundle macOS. Okay, this is the guy. It's open. Right. We are going to start a new file. So click on new. We enter the URL of the election. which is, as we said, this guy. And then the wallet key. So another wallet key that has some fonts is this guy. Okay. So we call it main wallet. Hello. And then click on download to download this segment of the blockchain. Okay, so it has recognized my funds. Again, actually these funds are gone because shortly after this block height, I moved the funds back to cold storage. Well, not cold storage, but to another wallet. Okay, this is the funds. You get actually 1000 voting power per sec. So this is actually less than 1 sec. I also want to demonstrate delegation, so I need a blank wallet. Let me use the I have generated another seed phrase using Jan Corbin's website, and this guy here has no funds at all. So we can go and open a new election file with the same URL but with this new seed phrase, and notice that it has no funds in there. So this is the delegate. Okay, if I press download, the same thing happens, but my voting power is 0. But I have an address where people can send me votes, and this address is here. This is my address. I copy this address here, and this is the same thing. Okay, so if let's go back to user number 1, because this user, the delegate, has no votes yet, cannot do anything. We have to start with the main wallet, and we can start by casting a vote. Let's cast 100 for vanilla. On the first vote that you make, once you run the app, it takes a little bit longer because the circuit for the zero knowledge proofs has to be computed. So there's a little bit of waiting here, but I think it's still manageable. Just a few, or maybe a minute or two. So what we're going to do is cast a few votes, and then delegate to the other user, vote with the other user, and then look at the results. Alright, so we have our first ballot cast, which has this hash, this receipt ID. If I go to the history, I can see my vote here. I spent 100 for vanilla, and now my remaining power is 689. So you're no longer obligated to follow the existing size of your nodes. You can vote any amount that you want, as long as it's of course lower than your available voting power. So I've voted 100. I'm going to send 400 to the other user. Let me put the address of the delegate and 400. So the delegate would have 400 votes, and we'll be left with 300 and something. So this time is faster because it's a second vote. If we go back to the first guy, I have 29 left. Let me cast a couple of votes. 200 for Nutella. And I think chocolate is pretty good. Okay, so 89. If I put 90, which is higher than I have left, is not higher than I have left. That's one thing I made a mistake here. Yeah, the mistake here is that I have to go back to overview. This is something I will change later. Um, if you don't go back to the overview, at this point the balance is not refreshed. Right, so now if I put 90, it's going to be an error. So I'm going to put 89, and I would have less than 1 vote left. Technically, you can vote less than a 1 vote if you enter a fractional value, but realistically speaking, it's not going to have any impact. Right, now I have, yeah, less than half of the vote. Okay, so let's go to the second user, the delegate, and first check that he has 400. Yes, it's 400 coins. Oh, I'm running the old version here, so maybe that's not gonna work. Okay, let me close this guy. This is fishy. I think I'm running the old version. Oh, okay. To make sure I'm running the new version, I'm actually going to download it from the website. This is this one. And then install it. Please start it. Okay, so this new version, let me also erase the file, because I think that file has a problem. Okay, move to trash. Okay, now we do new. We do the same steps as we did. Which is to take the election guy here and the seed phrase of the delegate. This is the delegate. Okay. Yeah, it should be 0, right? Because we haven't downloaded the blockchain yet. It was showing 400. There was a previous version that had a bug. So now we want to download the blockchain, and we also get the 400 votes that we from the other user. All right, so that makes more sense. Now we can go and vote ourselves with the borrowed borrowed coins in a sense. I'm gonna put 300 on chocolate. Okay, so we would have 100 coins left. You notice also that we have no fees. You can make as many votes as you want, and there is no transaction fee. Okay. After that, we will have 100 left that I think we send to Pistachio, because I don't think we have used Pistachio yet. Okay, let me back here, check that we have 100, and then finally send 100 to Pistachio. So of course you don't have to use everything. You can leave some points behind. Doesn't really matter. But for this test, I send everything. Okay, so I think we're done. We cannot do anything more because we have less than half of a vote. Close, and let's go to the final role, which is the auditor. Auditor or organizer, because all they need is the election seed. This guy here, right? So we go to the Zcash vote auditor, and we start start this target release bundle macOS. Right, this is the one. Right, so this guy needs the election seed, as I said. Right, and also as always the election URL. Because of the election URL, you can have multiple votes running at the same, multiple elections running at the same time on the same server. You see that once we run this guy up here, it was showing number of election 1. If you want to run more than one election, you just need to copy the JSON files, the election files, into the data directory and we restart the server. Okay, alright, so it's decoded and we have the results. I forgot to enter the data 0. We have this, and 389 plus 200 is 589, 689, 789. So these are we did spend everything, and they are all getting to these results. Okay, so that's it. That's how you do it. That's how you run the election in CoinVoting V2. Again, the last row doesn't have to be done by the election creator. Anybody can the election at the end of the election, the creator should publish the election seed phrase, and anybody can run this tool. That's it. All right. Thanks for listening.